Subscribe now to CVM TV News to see it happen.
Start saving for your golden years with a Sagicor Lifestyle Approved Retirement Scheme. The time by Sagicor Life is
7 o'clock. CVM News at 7 Headlines Thursday. Brought to you by Guardian Life. Live secure. Live easy.
Tonight in CVM News at 7, ZOSO extended in 4 parishes, acting DPP pushing for retrial and calls for a gender-neutral definition of rape.
Also this evening, Mark Golding sues Deputy House Speaker Roy Clark. In the business report, the potential of logistics for economic development. And in sports, Butler clarifies Bailey's Copa selection position. From Kingston, Jamaica, this is CVM News at 7. I'm Stephen McHugh.
And I'm Carolyn Brown. It's Thursday, June 13, 2024. Thanks so much for joining us. A 60-day extension has been granted for the zones of special operations in 4 parishes, which continue to witness an increase in crime and violence.
Now, the announcement was made in Parliament earlier this week. Trishagaye Kelly has this update.
The government's announcement of an extended zone of special operations ZOSO in 4 parishes means stronger police presence in these areas. St. James, Westmoreland, Kingston and St. Andrew will all see tighter constraints over the next 2 months. But regarding effectiveness, the residents share mixed views.
I think it work to a point, because if I eat, we know all the things that happen, all the rival. Gun play that they go on, maybe we couldn't even work outside.
When they came in the first time, but not now, because they're not doing nothing now. I'm driving up and down in a car, up and down.
Along with that claim comes the opposition holding the government to account for the anticipated results of the operations. But they fear they've waited in vain since the ZOSO was first introduced in 2017.
A lot of the objectives that it was intended to achieve after 7 years have not been accomplished. Many of the people from Mount Salem see it as a band-aid remedy and not as a cure for what has been happening. When the ZOSO came, we had hoped that it would have addressed many of the issues, the social issues.
And after so many years, even the councillor, Kerry Thomas, believes the government's primary goal to change the environment and the people's mentality has not been achieved.
I think the zones of special operation extension on paper is one, but it needs a complete overhaul to ensure that it is meeting what it intends to do, which is to change the minds of the people. After 7 years, it should be in a place where the people are able to police themselves and not see the need for a ZOSO today.
The extension should last for 60 days. Affected areas include Denham Town, Parade Gardens, Augusttown, Greenwich Town, Mount Salem, and Savlamar. Trishagaye Kelly, CVM News.
The government has allocated millions of dollars to repair damage caused by a freak storm earlier this year. Here again is Trishagaye Kelly with more.
February, the island was forced to pick up the pieces following a freak storm that left more than just its mark. From damaged ships to destroyed seawalls and piers, the impact of the natural disaster is still evident in some areas. In Negril, Westmoreland, the wall along the West End Road keeping the sea at bay was damaged. At the time of the incident, however, President of the Negril Chamber of Commerce, Elaine Allen Bradley, argued that the effect could have been mitigated had the government been proactive.
And I did warn them once when it first started that that somebody was gonna fall in it. A truck fell in it, as I said, almost 4 or 5 years ago. And they came, they put caution tape and a few boulders. Can you tell me if a few boulders and caution tape can stop what's happening here.
The government, in its bid to repair the structure now, is faced with an $80 million charge. Though it may sound a lot, the National Works Agency NWA has said it will use the money to redesign the sidewalk and repair the seawall, which could be quite costly. Community Relations Manager for the Western Branch, Janelle Ricketts, explains they will be designing a unique structure called a revetment wall.
It's a sort of retaining wall. So we have a situation there where the sea is very close to the road. So especially in high tide, the water comes and erodes the retaining wall. So it is not just to build a retaining wall, but also to protect the retaining wall. And this is where the revetment works comes in.
She says the only setback is that the contractor is awaiting additional equipment for the job. Ricketts assures residents the project will commence in coming weeks.
Our core work along that stretch will not commence until the pipes have been replaced. So I know that you have been encountering this situation for quite a while now. But I am just really trying to appeal to you to really hold strength for a little bit longer. It's not that the area is being ignored, but we are trying to do things the right way.
Trishagaye Kelly, CVM News.
And Member of Parliament for Southeast St. Anne, Lisa Hanna, is calling for the definition of rape to be altered to include offences against men and boys. As it stands by law, a man cannot be raped, which Hanna says causes a legal quandary. Courtney Lewis has more.
Member of Parliament for Southeast St. Anne, the PNP's Lisa Hanna, has called for moves to make the definition of rape gender neutral. Hanna claims the current definition does not allow men or boys who have been assaulted to be treated as victims. She moved the private member's motion in the House of Representatives on Tuesday.
In our Sexual Offences Act, sexual intercourse is defined as the entrance of the penis to the vagina only. And whereas if the same man uses an implement or any other body part to penetrate her vagina, mouth, or anus, it is considered grievous sexual assault. Or if he uses his penis to penetrate anywhere else on her other than her vagina, he may not be technically charged for rape in Jamaica, but rather grievous sexual assault. And whereas in our law, it is only a man that can rape a woman, and a man cannot experience rape in Jamaica, whether by a man or by a woman, which is presenting a legislative dilemma, creating inequitable legal consequences surrounding how we treat rape in Jamaica.
In an editorial published on Sunday, Hanna says the Buggery law being upheld even for an independent Jamaica is hypocritical as the nation pushes for gender equality. Hanna contends that the laws surrounding the definition of rape and sexual intercourse have been unchanged for years. As such, men and boys are in fear of seeking justice.
Many boys and men who have been or are being raped and sexually abused by men and women or men continue to suffer in silence and don't come forward out of fear of being stigmatized or thrown in jail, even though they are the victims. Be it resolved that we acknowledge and confront the fact that many of our boys and men are raped and continue to be raped, and change the law to give them redress and equality in our treatment of men and women in Jamaica.
She says it is time for an acknowledgement that men and boys are raped, and an amendment to the law would further provide redress and equality for all. Courtney Lewis for CVM News.
A man is accusing a Kingston-based automobile business of poor customer service after receiving what he describes as faulty tires. Here's Trishagaye Kelly with that report.
In a state of frustration, Andre May details his encounter with an automobile business in Kingston after he found out that one of 4 tires he purchased only a day prior was defective.
I have a technician looked at the tire. I told him the problem. He tested it. He said, Mr. May, it have a pinhole on the side of it, a size of a needle. I said, okay. I say, what is going to happen? They said, boy, I can't do nothing. I have to talk to the owner. The owner is overseas. They try to contact the owner. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. The the owner himself called me. Then he says, oh, that's your problem.
May claims he's a regular customer who spent close to $50,000 for the tires, adding the company's approach towards him should have been different.
They should have took a measure, being that I am a customer. I just spent $48,308. They should have looked at the car, replaced the tires, and said, Mr. May, have a nice day, and that would have been it. We have never had this conflict. I have purchased tires here before, and I have never had a problem with them more than the tire done too quick.
He says the main issue is that the owner has no regard for the customers.
The issue that I see with the company is the owner. He has no respect and no regards for his customer, and he has no customer service that's working in there that's properly trained.
May says he contacted the Consumer Affairs Commission CAC for assistance. However, the details of the encounter remain unclear as the CAC is erring on the side of caution, claiming the matter is confidential. The issue was resolved when an employee of the company replaced the tires without the owner's knowledge after hearing that CVM News was en route to the location. When CVM News contacted the company, they declined to comment. Trishagaye Kelly, CVM News.
During the Westmoreland Municipal Corporation's general meeting on Thursday, head of the fire department, Superintendent Rudolph Seaton, announced the team's progress and further work to be done. Courtney Lewis reports.
There's strength in numbers, and that's partly why the Westmoreland Fire Department is seeking to expand. Head of the Westmoreland Fire Department, Superintendent Rudolph Seaton, announced an increase in their vehicle fleet and firefighters.
At every day we remain a state of readiness. All our units are up and running. We have 2 pump water tender, 2 ambulances up and running. And come this Monday, we will have 6 additional personnel who have just been trained.
Prior to the upgrade of sorts, they were somewhat constrained.
We are still a bit short because, attrition versus are looking at greener grass. But we are close to our company. We are probably another 5 persons will take us up to our company. So we are.
But with a forecast active hurricane season, the first responders are hoping to get ready for whatever.
We are working closely with our disaster coordinator so that in case of any eventuality, we will be in a state to manage and mitigate what needs to go.
Courtney Lewis for CVM News.
More CVM News at 7 to come after this break.
News at 7 Headlines Thursday, brought to you by Guardian Life. Live secure, live easy.
A rivalry spanning generations, forged in the quest to be CONCACAF's finest. This time their paths will cross at a junction in the Copa America. It's the revitalized Reggae Boys up against the self-assured Mexicans. It's a must-see, live Saturday, June 22 at 7 p.m. on CVM TV.
Copa America 2024, brought to you by KFC. Courts.
Who is this?
The great Akif.
I love listening to the great Akif.
Akif is always motivating. I was in infant school, or others would say basic school. I have this talent. I love teaching. Good morning, students. Good morning, students. So I used to have the teddy bears, and the walls used to be my class, and so on and so forth.
Akif, we're in your school.
Yes.
We're in your corner office. We're in your what?
Corner office.
Antonio, and it's a goal! And the Reggae Boys take the lead. And Jamaica this one on ice.
Welcome back. Opposition leader Mark Golding has announced his intention to sue Deputy Speaker of the House, Roy Clark. The legal threat stems from alleged defamatory remarks Clark reportedly made about Golding and his wife Sandra in a WhatsApp group with hundreds of members. Trishagaye Kelly has that update.
Opposition leader Mark Golding says he will be pursuing legal action against Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives Roy Clark for alleged defamatory comments made about him and his wife Sandra. These remarks were allegedly made by Clark in a WhatsApp group with approximately 300 members. Shortly thereafter, Golding's legal team issued a letter to Clark outlining their demands. Failure to comply with the demands, as stated in the letter, would result in legal proceedings against Clark. But how valid are these charges really? We spoke with Michael Williams, attorney at law and former journalist, to provide further clarity on the potential suit. He says to prove defamation, adequate damage to reputation must be proven.
The claimant must prove that right-thinking members of society will see him or her in a less than good light. In other words, his reputational harm must be proved.
Furthermore, Williams addressed the required criteria if the matter goes to court.
If it is that the honorable member from the Montego Bay constituency stated that Mr. Golding should be arrested because he married or got his wife pregnant or had sexual intercourse with her whilst she was yet under the age of consent, which is 16 in Jamaica, and that he should be arrested for what is commonly called statutory rape. And if it is not true that this is so, then certainly he has been defamed.
Williams explains that in this case, justification or truth of Clark's statements must be proven. However, he notes that might prove difficult under the circumstances.
Truth is the ultimate defense against a claim for defamation. They would have to show that on a balance of probabilities, if the statement was made that there is justification for it, they would have to show by a preponderance of evidence or on a balance of probability that in fact the statement, if it was made, is in fact true.
Up to news time, attempts to obtain a comment from both Golding and Clark proved futile. Trishagaye Kelly, CVM News.
Following the airing of an investigative report at another media house, threats have circulated online targeting the reporter. Such attacks raise concerns about the safety of journalists in the line of duty and beg the question, is there a place for investigative journalism in Jamaica? CVM News spoke with two media veterans on the matter. Here again is Trishagaye Kelly.
Are often seen as unusually inquisitive, and here in Jamaica, the phrase "informer for dead" is notorious. However, actual death threats aimed at an investigative reporter in the line of duty is being viewed as a step too far by many in the profession. Veterans in the field, including educator and former journalist Nadine MacLeod, shared that it can be a daunting experience.
Journalism is not for the fraidy people. It is an occupation where you have to have a very strong heart, especially in Jamaica, because we know that Jamaican people like to talk, right? Sometimes it comes with action, other times it doesn't come with action.
MacLeod herself received backlash for her own undercover reporting on the operations on the stretch of Port Henderson Road, commonly known as Back Road. However, broadcaster and former journalism educator Faye Ellington encourages journalists to continue to push against boundaries to inform their audience. She still advises caution, suggesting that society is moving in the wrong direction.
In this society, we are wrong, but we're strong, and you're going to attack the people who are on the side of doing things the right way. The role of social media and galvanizing the backlash and pointing out some of the things they said, it makes you very concerned because it points to other spaces and places who could be hurt.
Since the incident, the press and media associations of Jamaica have issued statements on the matter. The Prime Minister also condemned the public's reaction to the story. Ellington suggests that media houses take improved accountability for journalists' safety as well as their own.
I want to say to management that they need to put things in place to protect the reporters when they do certain kinds of work. And so when the reporter is going out to do certain kinds of work, they need to have that protection, physical protection, but also insurance. And when the work is aired and this kind of backlash occurs, they need to protect the reporter again and the media house.
Despite the backlash, journalism remains a vital pillar in the development of any stable democracy. Trishagaye Kelly, CVM News.
Education Minister Favour Williams says the ministry is working to foster interests in science, technology, engineering and mathematics, commonly known as STEM. She says the ministry is committed to building innovation, entrepreneurship and problem-solving skills, further preparing students for worldwide opportunities. Here's more from Courtney Lewis.
Education Minister Favour Williams says the government is focusing on implementing new programs and activities to develop students' interest in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Williams says this is in alignment with the ministry's goal to have a holistic, inclusive, and forward-thinking framework. She was speaking at the launch of the STEM Robotics Center at Excelsior Community College on Thursday.
The center will serve as a hub for collaboration, bringing together students, educators, and industry professionals to share ideas and knowledge. This will foster a culture of innovation and entrepreneurship, encouraging our students to pursue careers in STEM fields and to contribute to the development of new technologies and solutions that can benefit society as a whole.
She adds that the proactive approach of the ministry to introduce STEM at an early age is important and requires a deliberate effort to invest in skills and talents. The aim, a high enrollment in STEM at the tertiary level.
The ministry is also focusing on additional activities aimed at developing and nurturing STEM talent and interests through early immersion in STEM experiences at the primary level, thereby strengthening the efforts already being made.
The minister says the new robotics hub at the school will serve as a place for individuals to share ideas and learn critical thinking, which will prepare them for the global world. Courtney Lewis for CVM News.
And we'll continue with more CVM News at 7 in a moment.
Presents their 2024 furniture event, The Art of Living, at all Court stores island-wide. Shop June 3 to 30 and get up to 40% off the best furniture styles and brands for your bedroom, lounge, dining, outdoor, and more. Plus, get a free gift with purchases of $65,000 and over on 24 to 48 months credit. Shop today and pay later with Courts Ready Finance. Don't miss The Art of Living 2024 furniture event only at Courts, bringing value home. Conditions apply.
As we continue, the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation, KSAMC, will partner with the Integrity Commission to host a series of workshops for councillors. Here's Trishagaye Kelly with more.
Mayor of Kingston and Councillor for the Vineyard Town Division, Andrew Swaby, has announced a collaboration between the KSAMC and the Integrity Commission. The initiative to host anti-corruption and good governance workshops for councillors is underway.
The KSAMC is partnering with the Integrity Commission to facilitate a series of workshops and training sessions to educate and inform councillors and staff on anti-corruption and good governance.
The workshop, consisting of 12 modules, will begin on June 25. The first 2 modules will focus on corruption.
The first session will be held on June 25th. The module 1 and 2 will cover at the first workshop. The module 1 will be the problem of corruption, and module 2 will be an overview of Jamaica's anti-corruption framework.
The mayor says the corporation is in the process of identifying a venue since the council chamber is not suitable for such a workshop. Trishagaye Kelly, CVM News.
With reports of over 60 security jobs to be made redundant effective June 30 at Port Management Security Limited, a prominent security company has offered employment opportunities to the affected workers. With the latest on that development, here's Negril.
Times are tough, says the lawman and CEO of Mackay Security Limited, Dr. Jason Mackay, as news emerges of a soon-to-be redundancy exercise at the state-owned Port Management Security Limited, PMSL. Some 60 trained men and women attached to the entity will no longer have their jobs come July 1. But not if Dr. Mackay has a say in it. In a statement today, after noting a story in The Observer about the workers' fate, Dr. Mackay says his firm would be happy to assist those designated to lose jobs by offering them to interview for jobs with his entity.
We know it must be a terrible blow to all the persons at the Port Security Corps to be getting news like this, particularly just 2 months shy of back to school. However, we also know the good standard of work that they perform and the high levels of professionalism they demonstrate. So we would have no problem inviting the 60 employees to come and apply for jobs at our organization, because we have openings and we really welcome them there.
He notes based on the high standard of performance of the employees, Mackay Security would be more than happy to offer them an opportunity for interviews. He further invites them to drop off applications at his office at 14 Lancaster Road or email him at makaysec@yahoo.com. The PMSL was formed back in 2005, and many of the workers were cited as being disgruntled by the move of the Finance Ministry to shutter operation. Its main aim included interception of contraband and illicit substances at the nation's ports, outfitted by workers with paramilitary training. CVM News has been promised an update on the matter by the authorities. Negril, CVM News.
More CVM News in a moment.
Sure we can. I never see a boy look pretty like you.